All right, we'll tap into gold. So gold, I ended up catching a beautiful sell last night. It was like 1,000 pips. We had a Wyckoff distribution here, and that was kind of bearish on it. Again, we did speak about on Wyckoff Sundays how we had this, low here, right? That we can see closed off as a pretty big wick there. We can see on the 1 hour, right, on the 2 hour and the 4 hour, right? They all closed as like a big wick. And we also had, a very high point of volume happen inside of that low as well. So it made sense for me to see price go ahead and attack that low. Could be the case that we do get another low. Let's look at silver here real quick. Silver looks good. Silver looks a lot better, actually. Silver looks really good, actually. We can see the divergence in volume there, right? We really got that high volume spike happening here. And since then, silver has obviously been trading lower and getting, lower and lower volume while doing so. So I wonder if, again, like maybe that's that, right? We were talking about this zone here as, again, a potential area of interest for us on the higher time frame. So silver is not bad. So maybe that could end up giving us a play here on gold as well, right? I mean, maybe we do end up trusting this current low. I have a current distribution happening right there. So the idea would be, all right, when we get down here, can we see institutional candles? Can we see, like signs of manipulation down below? And, maybe then we can maybe even look to see if this, this low here that swept that high volume low can actually hold, right? Because we do see a volume spike in this current low, but nowhere near as big as the one that was here, right? So we definitely do see divergence in volume, which is a good thing, right? Very, very similar to silver. So again, maybe it could be something that we look for, with these two pairs. Can these be institutional candles? Maybe. About a couple minutes until this, next candle closes for the 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour. They're all going to close right now, right? So could be some potential for a type 3 setup. We just need to see again, like technically what we would need to see with a type 3 setup, we can't really just enter off of like down candles like this. We would need to see price really create like an institutional candle, right? Looks like we've taken all points of internal liquidity here, right? So that's nice. But yeah, we'd have to see like institutional candle if this becomes one, price trade away, price go into it, price trade off of it again, and then we can play off of the third one to go ahead and see if those higher time frame candles can complete inside of the next 30 minute, 1 hour candles, type of thing, right? So, oh sheesh, looks like gold went straight through that zone, right? So this could still be a, a good thing for us to play, right? Again, like what we're looking for is lower volume, which we're getting, right? What's silver doing? Okay, silver's now going lower as well, right? And again, it's still, low volume too, with this idea there, right? There is liquidity building up above as well, but, it could be a bigger extension down, before we do reverse. So yeah, gold is definitely doing the sell-offs a lot more aggressively. We're still waiting on gold right now. We're looking to see if, now that we've started to, get sweeps below this high volume low from last week, if we can start to get the markets, to go ahead and potentially accumulate below lows, and give us the indication that we can get another buy, to the upside today, right? So that's kind of what we're thinking there. With this, we'll see if that's what ends up happening, or not. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Right. So really what we want is, again, if we're going to look for this to be a type 3 setup, we're going to need to see some clean institutional candles below lows, right? In this case, we were kind of looking at first to see if it could respect, right? But then obviously, we didn't end up getting any type of order flow to the upside. So there's really no reason to enter, right? And this is exactly why we wait for those kind of confirmations. It's like, even though we had good down candle closures, right, on multiple time frames, that doesn't necessarily mean bullish, right? Until we start to get order flow to the upside, right? There's no point in like trying to, force something that, isn't necessarily there, right? But, again, we do have a 3 minute institutional candle there, right? We do see how price opens above the liquidity, closes below. And then all those other time frames also had candles happen too. Trading away pretty nicely there. Let's look at silver. Silver's got a nice 1 minute candle, right? Nice 3 minute as well. Okay, 5 minute more of a wick. And then again, 15 minute and all these ones closed earlier. So, seeing another wick there, I mean, like, not great, like we want to see candles, like really clean candles. And we haven't seen them throughout, right? Like this is a big wick, that's a big wick there, that's a wick there, that's all taking the lows there, at least on the 15, right? But yeah, when we get to the 5, we start to get like better ones. Right, and it is New York Open very soon. So we just gotta let these play out. We just gotta stay patient. All right, see where some of these go. And lots of it, like silver is completely unmitigated. So we'll most likely still will get an opportunity, even if this is the bottom, which I'm still not convinced that it is. But even if this is the bottom, we should get a pullback, so no need to FOMO in or anything. It looks like we have gold and silver getting back into zone there. So yeah, kind of like inside of this zone here would be kind of like where we'd be looking for it, just to hold this zone there, right? We're tapping into the 3 minute candle now, so this might be something that I'll go for here now. By market, probably 0.1. And yeah, just doing stop loss below this recent low here, right? This should be actually bigger. I need to do more positions there. Just give me 1 sec. Oh, it doesn't do it like futures before. Okay. And yeah, let's just see if we can hold this low here. Again, this is a 1 minute, 3 minute candle, right? We're seeing volume divergence in these lows, right? We're getting right down into there, right, with New York Open. So I have 3 positions in right now, each of them at 300. So that's about how much risk I want, right? Maybe I need one more. Yeah, that's about 1,000. Cool. So yeah, let's look at this one here. Might not play out, right? It is pretty lower time frame, but I did like the volume. I like the way that we're accumulating. If not now, then soon probably, right? Is what I would say. Even if we do end up creating a new low, maybe that's where we end up seeing the reversals come in. It looks like we're almost down to the low there. So yeah, maybe not. Doesn't look like silver's reacting here on my end. So yeah, oh, about to get stopped, and boom, stopped. Ah, well, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Yeah, gold is, in its zone, right? While silver's diverging below its zone, right? Imagine gold ends up holding, that'd be kind of annoying. Yeah, I mean, tough to tell which place the divergence is going to happen, right? But again, like we did have silver like doing more, doing more lows like that. Silver had more liquidity to the upside, right? Silver had a much cleaner volume divergence. So for me, it made more sense to look for that one, right? But maybe silver just wants to do one more, and then after that, gold holds its low. Right now, gold is holding really nicely. Shit, that's annoying. Got a nice 3-minute down candle there, right? Technically could be an area to look for. Yeah, it does look like gold is actually reacting here. I might have to take a bite at it. I might have to take a bite at it. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go for an gold position here. All right, so I'm in on gold, guys. All right, we're gonna take this one. That did hold the low, right? Silver ended up breaking below. We can see that again, gold did end up making a institutional candle there as well, right? In the zone that we were kind of wanting it to see it happen. And so seeing price test back into that area is pretty much the idea here, for that, right? So again, seeing price sell off below these lows, come back up, seeing price retrace, reacting off of the low again, right? Kind of why we're, seeing if we can get this, looking to see if that, mitigation can happen from New York Open, so again, prior to the open, having seen the manipulation down, taking out this recent low, right? Seeing price trade away, and then, seeing price right at New York Open again, like 9:30 starts, right here. Right, we're almost above that wick. Let's hope we can break through. Right, 9:30 starts there, brings us down into the zone. Right, so potentially 9:30 kicking off our mitigation phase. Right, for our potential push to the upside. So I would look at this as more of a, type 1 potential entry model / mix with type 2, because again, we're kind of looking at this as price accumulating here on the higher time frame with this high volume low and sweeping below it. Right, seeing price come down below here. Right, again, this is our invalidation zone there. So if price gets below there, then that'll be it for the trade. Might be getting stopped out here in a bit. Again, let's see. Okay, well, decent reaction here, right? I did manage to snag an entry, like literally at the wick of that 1 minute. So I have bottom ticked it. I'm probably gonna just move stops to entry on that position, and again, now we kind of got another entry in here, right? So again, right, still this is the original idea. It doesn't really matter, right? It's gonna it's just like we get a better entry there, then it's just easier to manage later on if we do end up getting a reaction off of this low. Silver again, just barely breaking below. Push back up. Let's see if we can hold this entry. It does look like gold is starting to react, right? Again, pushes back up. Right, this initial entry here was saved. Right, so on my live account, I'll probably even end up de-risking on the top one there right now. Great so far. Hopefully we can react off this low. If not, then that's going to be that from there. But it's pretty much now or never. They're looking scary, yes, but sometimes that's how it goes with the institutional moves, man. They're trying to kick you out. Don't let them. Don't let them do it. If it isn't scary, is it really a good trade? Yeah, for real. What was the entry model reason for the gold trade? Basically looking to see this like be an accumulation here in the sense of, with the volume divergence and just order flow as well from this previous low. So this zone here is really for us like where we saw the market go ahead and trade below these relatively equal lows, get a big push to the upside happen. And even with the sell-off that we had, the intention for me was again only to really get below this low to then see us accumulate inside of these levels, right? So yeah, 4-hour trap candle in here, right, which is pretty much the last point of order flow that brought us up. So we pretty much swept all the buyers from earlier, right? Again, we had a huge volume spike sitting here. We're seeing price take the lows twice, right? Both times again, like showing lower volume than what we had initially inside of phase A. So basically just looking to see it be a volume divergence play. And then, from there, seeing price sweep this low, with, these candles, and then even seeing silver as well, again, same thing, like really showing signs of accumulation with volume divergence inside of it. So yeah, kind of the main ideas there. Here, smaller time frame wise, sweeping into that zone. I think it's just moving slow. But what is true though is like I did bottom tick gold, right? So I knew that so what I did here, I'll tell you guys what happened with gold, and this is why I kind of did it. So here I bottom ticked it, like literally, dude, like my fucking entries, right? Like even like this, I already had my stops at entry. It didn't even hit my entry, so it's literally right there. And then when we came here, I de-risked a little bit here. Oh no, it wasn't there. Sorry, it was here. When we came here, I de-risked a little bit there, and then I moved stops to entry here. So I was pretty much like already half there. I mean, guys, whatever you're in, I would still recommend holding it longer term, right? Because personally, I do think we're seeing like higher time frame institutional candles playing out on things like NASDAQ, on things like gold, on things like silver, right? So personally, that's what I want. Like it'd be nice to even see silver break like 79, to be honest, on this move. I would not be surprised. There would be no surprise on my end. Yeah, guys, I think we can hop off. I got some people coming here right now, so that'll be it for today. All right. Appreciate you guys being on here. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. Much love, much appreciation. Peace out. Right here, even though we took losses yesterday, gold is pretty much already completely taking care of those losses and giving us some interest on there as well. We're going to take out 0.2 here, 0.2, and we'll leave a position of 0.3. right? So that'll basically be a little bit less than half, and then we're going to leave the rest running and just see where it can go. Yo, what is good, y'all? What is good? So just wanted to drop the continuation of what we were saying with the gold idea. Obviously we did take partials here, which you guys just saw, but now we pretty much closed the rest of our position all the way up into new highs here for about a 1 to 11, 1 to 12 risk to reward. So pretty amazing to see, right? Calling out the buys down there. Stop loss just below the low and booming, as we can see with silver, even more, right? We were saying we could see above 79. We're seeing well above that now. So very, very clean recognition of the situation, higher time frame Wyckoff accumulation, and yeah, great entry and execution. So catch you guys on the next one. All right, much love, much appreciation. Peace out.